Hello and welcome to the PFF Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Hartitz. I am pleased to tell you all my voice is back. I'm not sure what was going on Wednesday, but we are past that. We're good to go. And I'm very excited because, people, I bring to you a lot of good guests on the show, very few special guests. That's exactly what we have today. He is the starting running back for the Washington football team. The man went for over 1,000 total yards and scored 11 touchdowns as a rookie, number 24 in your program, but number 1 in your heart, Antonio Gibson. Antonio, thank you so much for the time, man. How's it going?
It's been good, man. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely, man. And, I'm not sure how big you are into the fantasy football world, Antonio, but, man, you are on top of, maybe not quite on top. Christian McCaffrey is kind of like the lead guy, but a lot of people are thinking, man, that if you're there early second, God forbid, you're one of the first people out on these draft boards these days.
Yeah, I'm not that big into it, but, I get the you've been helping my fantasy out. You've been doing this for my fantasy. So, I'm starting to look into it a little bit.
There we go. There's a few bad apples out there that, of course, are going to at you after a bad game. They at me after I'm an idiot and pick the wrong thing. But I like to think most of the time we have a pretty good community over here. So Thank you again for the time, man. And we'll get right into some of these questions. So I wanted to start with just kind of your come up into Washington, because the big point when you were coming out of Memphis was you only had 33 rush attempts. All of a sudden, Washington wants to make you into a pretty much full-time running back. Like, how tough was that transition? And was there a point during your rookie year where you really started to feel more like just a pure running back?
I would say tough-wise, it was pretty tough. But I tell a lot of people this, the coaches were very patient with me, very patient. From me learning to just trust the process. So from receiver, if you watch the beginning games, I was just out there running. Honestly, I was just out there running. I knew I was supposed to hit, but it was just like, if I see something, I'm going that way. And that was just a receiver in me, like, get open. And, so they was real patient with me. They didn't give me a hard time about it. Of course, they told me I need to start to get it because, they're looking forward to me, making plays. So I kind of pushed myself, but they was real patient. So throughout the season, he stayed on me about it. And towards the middle of the season is when everything started clicking. And then, the injury happened, which slowed things down for me.
So you say about kind of halfway through the year is when you started to have that, I guess the term is like the NFL moment, like you're welcome to the NFL phase. Things started to slow down for you a little bit just after maybe halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm. I would say who do we play before the Steelers? I want to say that was coming off the Cowboys game. And, I was leading on to the Steelers and I was feeling real good about myself.
Yeah, I bet, man. 3 touchdowns on national TV.
And it happened pretty early with the injury, so it kind of slowed things down. But this year, it should be something special.
That has to be best Thanksgiving of your life, right?
Yeah, it really was. So, I tell people a lot of this, every time it's like a big stage, I kind of make a moment. In college, it was the SMU game. It was college game day. I had a kickoff return, a receiving touchdown, and a rushing touchdown. I think I almost had 100 in each category. I think I was like 2 yards short of rushing for 100 for that one. And that was like all eyes on us. And I had a big game there. And then go into the league and have it on Thanksgiving Day, that was pretty special.
I think it was Santana Moss back in the day said big players make big plays and big games, man.
For sure.
keep that up. But yeah, so it's what you talked about before and kind of transition to running back. The one thing that stood out was how you said you were just going. And we actually have a metric at PFF called stuff rate. Basically, it takes your carries and the amount of times you got no yards or negative yards. And you actually came in first. Only 4.1% of your attempts qualified as a stuff. Now, that's good. Obviously, we don't want negative plays, but is there a balance playing running back where you kind of have to know, okay, you want to get what's there, but you also maybe want to be patient and have the ability to kind of see the hole that emerges to get bigger plays potentially?
Definitely. And that's something I was really learning. So in my head, from the type of player I am, especially at receiver back in college, I always wanted to make a big play because if you looked at the history of Memphis, my junior year, I didn't touch the ball that much. So my senior year, it was make a big play every time you touch it. And that was my goal. And so when I got into the league, that's been me my entire life. So when I got into the league and running back is make a big play, make a big play, get you, you know what I'm saying? Make them trust you. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to, stick your head in there and get that 1 or 2 yards. And that's what I was learning throughout the season. So I'm learning now if you don't see nothing quick, just, stick your head in there and get what you can get. And Coach Jordan done a good job helping me out with that.
Makes sense, man. And yeah, it's It was surprising to me to see how much you were playing like true running back to start the year. Because I think a lot of people in the fantasy community were figuring, hey, you play wide receiver in college. Maybe Peyton Barber will be getting the early down stuff for you guys. You get more scat back stuff. Wasn't really the case. We did see, though, in week 4 against Baltimore. I mean, that was the first time that, at least from me watching, they started using a wide receiver, throwing you screens, really throwing you the ball a little bit more. I mean, that week you had 82 damn receiving yards. It was only 20 or so the few weeks before. Now, you said before they didn't want to put too much on your plate in 2020. Do you see yourself lining up more as a true wide receiver in 2021 now that you're a little more intertwined with the system?
Definitely. Coach Scott does a good job of using all his players. Like I said, last year, he didn't want to put too much on me. So like this year, I'm a little bit more comfortable with my plays and, everything that's going on, getting the feel for the game. So I feel like, it should open up a lot more this year.
Awesome, man. Well, that's great to hear. In Fantasyland, you said you're not a huge fan, but in a lot of these formats, you get a full point just for catching the ball, equal to getting 10 rushing yards or 10 receiving yards. I don't exactly get it, but it's the game we play, so we got to kind of adjust to it. So I wanted to ask you, you mentioned before, unfortunately, right when you got rolling against the Cowboys, suffered that toe injury. We saw some reports saying you're still kind of dealing with that. I just was wondering if you could shed some light. Like, how's the recovery going, man? You be 100%?
Yeah, I'm all good. I've made it through a mini camp, OTAs. I've been fine. I've been working out extra, on my own, so everything is good.
Great to hear, man. Yeah, we just want to make sure everyone's at 100%. We want you out there, everything you can handle. So, I mentioned before, Peyton Barber was with you, J.D. McKissick. You had some quality vets, but the one guy, man, at least you got to spend August with him. Adrian Peterson, in my opinion, the single best running back of the past decade. Was there anything that you just got to learn from him, even in that short time together?
He was big on taking care of your body. There's 2 things he said almost every day: take care of your body and err on protection. Coming in, he knew I didn't have a lot of protection. So he was like, err on protection. So before I got into my route, he was like, err on protection before you get out to your routes. So that was something I focused on a lot and something I tried to hold on to. And also take care of your body. I realized what he meant after the first season of me playing, fully running back. I was hurting. So this year, I'm going to take more steps into taking care of my body throughout the season.
It's that wild stat I heard from a couple of years ago. Like LeBron James spends like maybe it was like 3 million or something just on his body to preserve it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I can tell with those guys, they play a lot of games as well. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, maybe not quite as physical, but 82 regular season games at least, man, that is a lot for the NBA.
That's a lot on the legs.
Yeah, exactly, man. So did you have a favorite running back growing up? Like, was it Adrian Peterson or was there someone else's style you liked? Or maybe a wide receiver?
No, I wouldn't say Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson definitely up there, but I have to go with LT and Reggie Bush.
Nice, man.
Yeah, those are my guys.
Give Reggie his Heisman back. Come on, right?
Yeah, they should have been did that, honestly.
Gosh, and for the NCAA to deflect that, oh well. And yeah, in your opinion, LaDainian Tomlinson, powder blue, best jersey of the millennial?
Powder blue.
That Chargers, that fresh one, I feel like everyone had that as a kid.
No, I didn't have it, but I was about to say I didn't have too many jerseys, but it was clean. But no, I didn't have too many jerseys.
I want to compliment you, man, because, I am someone that spends far too much time looking at just the accessories and the swag people are going with. And, man, by the end of the year, you were mixing up with some visors, the sleeve. You had the grill that you flashed in the Cowboys game. And I was going crazy on Twitter. I was just wondering, like, is there a running back that you consider the first team all-swag RB1 right now in the NFL? Because I asked DeAndre Swift the same question. He said Alvin Kamara, so I wasn't sure if you were.
I was about to say Alvin Kamara. I got to go with Alvin Kamara. I seen him. He's the one who had me doing like the strip tape on the back of my arms in college. So, yeah, I'm going to go with him. And then I'm going to go back to Le'Veon Bell when he was with the Steelers. Then I'm going Le'Veon Bell.
Man, Le'Veon Bell, dude, I played high school ball in Central Ohio, and I met Le'Veon Bell when I was a junior. We held him to 330 yards rushing. And I felt like a goal.
Y'all held him to 300
It could have been more, man. Someone asked me, like, well, did you ever tackle him? And I was like, sure, after he dragged my ass for like 5 or 6 yards first. So yeah, that's just funny. You get those special moments where these future, computer people like me face actual NFL athletes. And that's when the special stuff happens. Awesome stuff, Antonio. I wanted to now go on one more thing, asking about accessories and all this really important stuff here. But we've had some people wonder about a nickname for you. And I just want to say, someone brought up a really good point. What do you think about AGDC? We can put a lightning bolt next to it, and it'll be like a shtick off ACDC. Rock and roll fan?
AGDC?
Yeah.
I get it because the AC. I actually got a couple shirts, ACDC. That's pretty smooth. I fuck with that. But I've been getting a lot. You got Gibby, you got AG the Weapon. I'm fine with AG, but you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fans love, I'm for it. I don't mind it.
Sounds good, man. Just wanted to make sure you didn't hate it. Some people were wondering, DC. Like that. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Because some people were wondering, DC, CMC and stuff. And it's like, you deserve your own nickname. You're your own guy. All right, man. A couple questions about kind of your new teammates. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, a quarterback. We've already gotten pretty funny picture of him with a cicada stuck in his beard. Yeah. He just seems like such an easygoing guy. Have you had any just fun stories from Fitzmagic already?
Oh, he really is. I would just say he makes it. He calms me down sometimes. Like seeing him a little bit playful. You know what I'm saying? He's been here. He shows you you know what I'm saying. It ain't always business. You can have fun with it as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do. So I say he's just very relaxing to see play. He calms everybody down. He's calm in the huddle. Been there, done that, of course. So, but stories, haven't got any crazy stories yet. That's fair. So we'll see as that goes on.
There we go. Yeah, man. It's just wild to me how a guy, him, journeyman, kind of boomer bust throughout his career, the throws he was making last year. Do you see the one against the Raiders where the dude had his helmet freaking cocked to the side, still zings on the sideline?
Yeah, I was about to say, somebody asked me about that. It was like, how do you explain Fitzmagic? And I explained that play right there.
That's all it is, man. Yeah, I'm just happy now to see him without, with all due respect to Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, the other quarterbacks there. This is his first time in several years where he doesn't have a, X top 5 pick or whatever at the organization. Needs to see what's going on. So is everyone, rallying around him as the QB?
No, I mean, Coach, and I feel like it's the same. I feel Coach said he's going to let everybody compete in the spring, and we're going to see what's happening. Not spring, but training camp and see what happens. So we'll see.
As it should be, meritocracy, of course. Okay, 2 more things about your teammates. I'm a big Columbus, Ohio lifer, Ohio State fan, so I love Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel. Also noticed in your guys' Washington football team social media page on Twitter, great job. I love the chalkboards on your first day out of practice and all that. But Fitzpatrick, his best friends were listed as Curtis and Terry. You guys might have one hell of an explosive passing attack this year. I know last year with Alex Smith, you guys kind of had to operate more, underneath intermediate areas of the field. Do you guys see you just trying to create a little more explosive plays more often?
I mean, that's all I can imagine when they brought in Curtis. You already got Terry, which is something to deal with. The man is something serious. And then you brought in Curtis, and Curtis actually killed us last year. I think he had 100 rushing or almost both in 100 rushing and receiving. So to bring him along, adding another speed. And then, we got the rookie that just came in and from I don't want to say his name, Diamond, but
Diamond.
Yeah, and that just that adds on. We got other guys that didn't really get their feet wet last year that is coming along. So it's gonna be something to deal with.
Yeah, we should have, because Curtis Samuel, even going back to Ohio State, he's kind of played both running back and wide receiver. I wonder if we'll pull the Carmelo Anthony, fake shot from the sideline, walk over to running back drills for a day and see what's what.
Oh yeah, he might. I can see it now. So I mean, like I said, Coach Scott does a good job of using all his players. So I'm not sure he'll shy away from it.
Very excited to see that, man. All right, last question before we get you out of here. I want to go back to Memphis just because you guys aren't necessarily considered this consistent NFL factory. You've had players over the years, but just recently, man, yourself, Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard, looks like Kenneth Gainwell is going to be doing some good things with the Eagles. What are they putting in the water over there? You guys just have one kind of, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, one freak running back, wide receiver hybrid after another.
I would just say everybody that comes there, if you don't, you learn quick how to work. You work for everything you get there. And another guy I would say coming up, Calvin Austin. Nice. You got KD. You got a whole bunch of defensive linemen that work out crazy. But just the work you got to put in there and the respect you got to get before, you touch the field, it really does something to you. And when you do touch it, you're already prepared because all the work you put in. And like I said, Calvin Austin was a prime example of that. At first, he was a track guy doing both sports. started working out, took it serious, started putting in the work. And last year he blowed up on the scene, you know what I'm saying? And this year everybody expecting something great out of him, which, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure he will do. Well, I know he is going to do. So awesome. It's just putting in that work and, you know, going out there and putting it out.
Following the footsteps, keeping the grind going. Antonio, thank you so much for your time, man. Anything you want to say to the Washington football fans and maybe, you know, prospective fantasy football managers? I know you don't play, but if you want to let the people know to draft you.
For sure. You know what I'm saying? I expect nothing less this year. It's going to be something special. And to the Washington football fans, man, be prepared for a great season, man. And that's all I'm going to say on it.
Best of luck to you and the team, man, and your personal and team goals. You know, we're all rooting for you over here at the PFF Fantasy Football Podcast. And again, man, thank you for the time. He's Antonio Gibson. I'm Ian Hartitz. This has been the PFF Fantasy Football Podcast. And until next time, take care, everybody.